Champion, grower. Those are a couple of words that are bold and that exemplify Bob Coughlin to me. There's nothing that he does that can't be done better in his eyes, and he just has a knack for things and finds a way to win.
Bob, out of college, joined ADP as a salesperson and quickly rose to the level of a sales manager. Left ADP after a couple of years to pursue another sales position. And at the time, Central Trust had a payroll service in Cincinnati, and they decided to get out of the business and ended up selling it to ADP. And there were several existing clients of the Central Trust payroll that weren't happy with that. And several of Bob's former referral sources, whether it be bankers, accountants, and even customers, actually called him and said, "Hey, Bob, can you get back into the payroll business? You know, we really feel like you would add to the competitive environment here." And so that was the impetus, Central Trust selling its payroll business to ADP. Coughlin Enterprises was the original name of the company Bob formed in 1990 by selling shares to family and friends. The company entered into a licensing agreement with a company called Payroll One of Detroit, and as such, renamed itself to Payroll One. As that licensing agreement was coming up on expiration 10 years later, near the year 2000, the company at the time wrote its own software program, converted all the clients off of Payroll One, and then was renamed to its current name today, Paycor.
I think one of the things that he really prioritized as Paycor was undergoing a period of rapid growth was maintaining the culture of the organization. And that's a kind of a corporate buzzword that lots of people use, but when you get to know Bob and you talk to Bob and when you saw Bob leading Paycor during that time, you saw that was not just a buzzword. They were focused not just on building a great company, providing great service to customers, but really focused on the core values that they had and how they were true to those and true to each other.
And so in addition to really founding, then growing the hometown company called Paycor, he also visioned starting the Flying Pig Marathon.
When I first met Bob, he was still running with a local group of runners, and they had joined Team in Training, and they were running marathons all over the country to raise money for Leukemia Lymphoma Society. That model was an excellent model that many other not-for-profits have since adopted. Bob realized, we're all going to all of these other cities. Our hometown, Cincinnati, needs its own marathon. People just didn't think it was the ideal location for a marathon, but undaunted, Bob thought our city needs it. It should benefit a number of really good causes. The economic impact that's been generated from this event alone on an annual basis, we're up to now about $22 million in economic impact.
Bob and I met in junior achievement while we were both in high school. We'd compete in citywide competitions for Company of the Year, President of the Year. We attended the annual JA Trade Fair. We would go to the national convention together.
I think Cincinnati is different because of Bob Coughlin. Founding a company like Paycor involving so many people have worked for the company is just tremendous.
I think his impact on this community will be felt on a very conscious level for many years to come.
He's been a big supporter of the Crown and expansion of the bicycling trails, always been a big advocate for youth development, and he's actually formed up a nonprofit entity in the Bahamas to not only help the local community and teach youth sailing lessons there, but also to provide for environmental and harbor protection.
And just the fact that he built from the ground up this enormously successful homegrown business that is one of the most vibrant, biggest businesses in town right now, that's a lasting legacy.
I've known him for over 45 years. One of my best friends was the best man at my wedding, and we obviously worked together at Paycor for over 20 years. Bob is certainly a man of integrity. He believed in doing the right thing.
He's really made a mark on Cincinnati, and that mark is there to stay.
It's like Lou Rawls introducing me. You are. Does everybody know who that is? Yeah. Curtis, you're tremendous. You really are great. I've been coming to these for so many years and really enjoyed the stories, and now it's amazing to be up here. That thanks to all involved. I'm not going to name names, but the committees and everybody who puts this on. It's truly an honor. My friends, my colleagues, my family, people I worked with, there's a bunch of different tables here. I would not be here without you. For me, this award is really about us and we achieving something together, because there were so many people who helped me along the way. 33 years ago, it was October of 1990, my accounting firm, Cassidy & Schiller, was just getting started. The Reds had just won the World Series. There was no internet. PCs had 20 meg hard drives, floppy disks. If you came into our first office, you'd see lots of floppy disks. And I had just started a company. I had a $35,000 house in Newport, Kentucky. I took out a $100,000 SBA loan against that house and sold some shares of stock to friends and family to get the business started. Really put everything on the line with no family money or much family behind me. Just take the risk. And maybe I didn't have a lot to lose. In the first year, when we got started in July, that year our revenue was $25,000. The second, in 10 years later, our revenue was $8 million. In the year 2010, our revenue was $56 million. And in 2020, it was $350 million. That journey, you know, you can see this kind of went up. It wasn't linear. It took a lot of people, a boatload of good people helping me to get there. And they were pulling, pushing, guiding, you know, the mentors that we had. But one thing that I look back and recognize is that it was hard. It was hard to build a business and fun and rewarding at the same time. But we definitely, when we started it, there was a lot of change. But the pace of change quickened over the years for us. It's a hard business for two reasons. One, let's just face it, people got to get paid. So if we were there on a Thursday or Wednesday and we were getting payrolls out the door and there was a glitch, we just stayed all night and got it done. Our first guiding principle was take care of the client first. And the second one was take care of each other. And for me, leading a business, I always thought my job was to balance the needs of our clients, of our associates, and of our shareholders, while also taking care of our civic and professional communities. And finding that balance was always for me about making sure I took care of our employees and our customers first and putting yourself, you know, maybe not first. My first employee in 1990 was an operational person named Demita Tart. She's here tonight. And she taught me how to balance payroll taxes in October of 1990, and we would stay up late and do it. My wife, Jean, came on. We were actually engaged, and she was working for a software company that actually went out of business in August of 1990, and I said, well, we have some work to do. Come on board. We'll decide if we can pay you or not, but, you know. She came on and ended up staying 10 years. She actually left November 30th of 2000. I know that because my third child, Grace, was born December 1st of 2000, and November 30th was Jean's last day of being a key person in helping to build the business. And love you, Jean, and thanks for being there. My son, Thomas, is here, and I'm glad he's here and gets to be part of this. My kids, my wife certainly also made sure that our 4 kids, while I was working hard, you know, kind of built the business. Number of leaders from Paycor over the years, a few are here. Stacy Browning, who you saw up there. What I would say about all the leaders, I'm not going to single anyone out, but Stacy, Mike, Lynn, Jamie, a scattering of folks who are out here, Scott and Jenny, is you rounded me out. We used to actually put our personality profiles, you know, those profiles you take on our intranet, and you could see that without the whole Bob wasn't there, that we needed other people on the team and putting that team together. And they believed and brought the company along. And then there was Steve Hausler. So Steve, you saw up there. Steve and I met in high school. We actually ran a driveway sealing business together at some point after high school for a couple years in the summer that Ed and Ira set us up with. That's another bunch of stories there. But we met in junior achievement. And Steve brought John Weil tonight, and John is over here. So John was the center manager with junior achievement for the eastern part of Cincinnati. And I was a sophomore at Anderson High School, and he came walking into my class, and he told this great thing about joining Junior Achievement. And I decided to join, so we met in the basement of the Mount Washington Presbyterian Church. The 3 years, I was in national contests. I did compete with Steve a lot. He won sometimes, I did in others. But this is a full circle award for me, because I would not be here without Junior Achievement. And today, so many of my philanthropic passions are really about youth development that really focuses on experiential learning. Because I learned a lot in school, but to be able to be hands-on and to have mentors and to have people there is why I am where I am today. And I'm not just saying that tonight. People around me have heard me say that for years. So thank you, John, for coming in, pushing me. There are a number of times I have him in my inner ear going, Coughlin, you could do better than that. So, you know, he wasn't always just supportive, so to speak. And last, I wanted to recognize Iris Simpson-Bush, who there's a marathon table back there. That was another business in a way, a business plan and all of that. But it goes back to what I said before. It was about a good plan, but it was about the people who believed in the plan from the startup. That was the riskiest thing I've ever done, starting that marathon. Riskier than starting Paycor, because it was a well-known citywide thing, and if it failed, it was something everybody would know about. And it didn't. It went really well. And people say to me, Bob, you're a real risk taker. And I always say to them, I don't think I am. I think I'm a risk minimizer. I think I really think hard about what's the worst thing that can happen and how do we make sure that doesn't happen and cover that and move forward anyway. But I want to thank any partners or all the accountants, the scaffolding, I call you all, who made sure that the bricks didn't fall down as we were building the business. We just worked with great people, and they supported me. They were there when the times were tough, my YPO friends. And I remain a shareholder at Paycor now. I'm not involved with the company, haven't been for 4 years, but let's just say I'm interested in how they do. And they put their name on a stadium, which is really good for my brand. I was down in the Bahamas when that happened, so I had nothing to do with it, but people are like, oh, that Paycor. So thank you to the Paycor team for helping with that. And finally, I haven't gotten around to see all of you. This is like a wedding or something where you get to not see everybody. But afterwards, I reserved the bar area at the alcove 2 blocks over and 1 block up. So if anybody wants to come up and say hi, we hope to see you there. Thank you. Thank you, Junior Achievement.